Do you really think we are this stupid? Does the mainstream media really think that we are this dumb? Let me get this straight. I want to make sure I am understanding the media correctly. You expect me to believe that the WNBA dump, a league that counts their audience by the dozens, you expect me to believe that the dump is generating over 500,000 views on social media from actual people? I would not believe this story if the mainstream media was claiming that the WNBA drew 500,000 flies to a steaming turd. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to support the channel by becoming a channel member, the link to join is in the description below. Also, link to the channel merch store in the description below. Yesterday, we talked about all this fake outrage on social media that was directed towards the WNBA. WNBA preseason began last Friday night. This is the time of year when the dumps invite the local community into the processing facility so they can meet their local trash collectors. Obviously, these meet and greets are usually sparsely attended. I appreciate the services offered by my garbage man. I don't mind tipping him a few extra dollars during Christmas, but that doesn't mean I'm going out of my way to drive all the way to the dump so we can break bread over piles of trash or look for scraps of bread in the piles of trash. Like all other events on the WNBA calendar, like the WNBA regular season, the playoffs, the chase for the golden toilet in the WNBA finals, like all these other events, the WNBA preseason generates minimal interest. People don't care about these games when they actually matter. People don't care about these games when there's a lot at stake and they're highly competitive. When you have been using those porta potties throughout your career, you will bust your ass in the WNBA finals to earn access to bathrooms with running water during the off season. If people don't care when it actually matters, why in the hell would they care about the preseason, which is basically a glorified scrimmage? Much like the regular season, the preseason is meaningless. But last Friday night, thousands of people were interested in watching the WNBA debut of Caitlin Clark. No one cared about the other 9 players on the floor. No disrespect to those ladies, but the only recognizable face on the court when the Indiana Felines played the Dallas Wankers, the only recognizable face was Caitlin Clark. Well, KC, that's simply not true. The Indiana Felines have huge stars. Aaliyah Boston, Grace Berger, Lexi Hull. These women are amazing. And who? Did you say Grace Berger? Is that on the menu at Burger King? Lexus Hull? Is that the newest Lexus model coming out in the fall? Let's be real here. Caitlin Clark was the only star, the only household name on the court, which is why the diva of dump divas, Cathy Engelbert, made sure that her WNBA debut was available on television. Now, you had to pay for it, and if you did, you're a dumbass, but if you wanted to watch the preseason debut of Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, the option was available to you. Same option was not made available for Angel Reese. Now, you can blame Bally Sports, which is exactly what the WNBA did. You can blame lack of interest, which is probably the real reason the debut of Angel Reese wasn't available on television. I have a hard time believing that if there was significant interest in watching the debut of Angel Reese, that the WNBA would not go out of their way to find a way to televise it. But that is not what the mainstream media wants us to believe. No! According to the media, there was huge interest in the debut of Angel Reese. People traveled from yards away just to see this amazing pop culture icon. I have nothing against Angel Reese. Matter of fact, I like Angel Reese. What I don't like is being lied to. This is another classic case of the mainstream media giving us a partial truth. Here on the channel, we call it the shit sandwich. Like I told you guys yesterday, There is a big difference between being a star and being a draw. Back in the mid-90s, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, they were the two big stars in the WWF. They were on top during a period when the company was struggling. A couple of years later, Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, they emerged and the company was suddenly selling out arenas across the country. Hell, they were selling out arenas all over the world. Shawn Michaels, he was the best performer in the history of that business. No one could outperform Shawn Michaels. Both he and Bret Hart, they were stars, but Austin and Rock, they were draws. They were cultural phenomenons. Angel Reese is a star, but the truth is, Angel Reese is not a draw. That's not my opinion. That's not me being a meanie. It's a fact. When they were playing at the professional level in college, Caitlin Clark was selling out road games. Tickets were going for thousands of dollars. When Caitlin Clark came to your arena, ticket sales increased by 150%. Angel Reese, she wasn't selling out home games at LSU. LSU averaged around 11,000 per game last season in an arena that seats over 13,000. Now, that's a great number, but it ain't on the same level as Caitlin Clark. When Angel Reese and LSU went out on the road, most arenas were barely at 50% capacity. This is the difference I'm talking about. It's not a criticism of Angel Reese, it's just the difference between a star and a draw. I showed you guys this yesterday, but check this out again. This was the Target Center last Friday night for the WNBA debut of Angel Reese. Now, this is your typical average crowd for a WNBA game. Basically, Angel Reese had zero impact on ticket sales. But the mainstream media, they want us to believe that Angel Reese pulled hundreds of thousands of viewers on social media. Headline at Mediaite: the WNBA chose not to televise Angel Reese, so fans streamed her debut on social media to over 500,000 viewers. Headline at the New York Post: you know, I'm starting to be more and more disappointed with the New York Post. I hold them to a different standard than the rest of the woke media. The Post, it's one of the few media outlets that I actually trust. But my trust in the New York Post is starting to erode, and this headline, it is a prime example of why I'm losing trust in the New York Post. Headline: Angel Reese debut racks up more than 545,000 views after WNBA blunder. Blunder? What blunder? You mean Bally Sports choosing to broadcast Major League Baseball over the WNBA because they knew it would draw a larger audience? A decision, by the way, that was the correct decision? That blunder? The New York Post, they furthered the propaganda by claiming that the debut of Angel Reese generated over 2 million views on Twitter. You know, I am often asked why I don't upload my content on Twitter. People on my team or people looking to watch me on other platforms, they ask why I refuse to upload on Twitter, the free speech platform. There are a variety of reasons why I don't upload on Twitter. For starters, the platform is years away from competing with Rumble, much less YouTube. Another reason I don't upload on Twitter is because you can't get accurate view counts. With YouTube, I think a viewer has to watch for at least 30 seconds for it to be counted as a view. I could be wrong, but I think that's the way it works. Television is a whole lot stricter than that. The way Nielsen calculates ratings, they go off of 15-minute intervals. Let's say it's Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and Nielsen reports that 12 million people watched Game 1. The actual view count is significantly higher. 12 million is the average throughout the entire game. It is completely different on Twitter. If I was scrolling through Twitter last Friday night and the WNBA debut of Angel Reese showed up on my timeline, Twitter counted that as a view. Meaning, me not watching the debut of Angel Reese counted as me watching the debut of Angel Reese. Her game might have pulled millions of views on Twitter, but that does not mean millions of people are watching it. Matter of fact, that number is significantly lower, and I have the proof. Check it out for yourself. These are the analytics from the viewer live stream. While the stream was live, over 173,000 views were calculated. Again, that number is inflated because of the way Twitter calculates views. Pay close attention to the time watched per viewer. My videos here on YouTube average 13 to 15 minutes in length. My average view duration, which is the time spent per viewer watching my content, my average view duration is between 6 and 8 minutes. For longer videos like the Rise and Fall series, the AVD could be closer to 10, 12 minutes. This stream of the WNBA debut of Angel Reese, it was almost 2 hours long. Average viewer watched for less than 2 minutes. There were 15 comments generated on this live stream. 15! Comments are a key indicator for viewer engagement. The higher number of comments generated, it means viewers are actively engaging with the video, meaning they're interested, they are watching. The debut of Angel Reese in the WNBA, 15 comments. If I had a video generate 15 comments, I'm highly disappointed. It is extremely rare for one of my videos to generate less than 100 comments. You know what I do when that happens? I don't talk about that topic for a while. Why? Because the low engagement shows me you're not interested. The mainstream media, they are pushing this inflated view count, hoping to convince us that there was significant interest in the WNBA debut of Angel Reese, when the reality is there wasn't. Again, this is nothing against Angel Reese, it's just reality. This is my problem with the mainstream media. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like being lied to. If you were to ask one of these reporters, they would defend themselves by claiming, this is not a lie, we are just reporting based on the information provided by Twitter. Yeah, but you know Twitter view counts are inflated. You know they're fake. I know this, and I don't work in the media. The only reporter I could find that reported on this honestly, Bobby Burek over at Outkick. Every other article was, well, it was basically propaganda. It was a partial truth, which seems to be the specialty in the mainstream media, giving us part of the story and hoping that we are dumb enough to actually believe it. But give me your thoughts on this. Media claims over 500,000 people watched the WNBA debut of Angel Reese, when in reality, that number was significantly lower. I watched a few minutes of that game. It was so quiet in that arena, you could hear a mice queef. Will Angel Reese be a draw in the WNBA? I wish her nothing but success, but there's a huge difference in building a following on social media and convincing people to pay to watch you play basketball. Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter, and I'll see you guys later.